name. It's your boy, John H. today, with my friend, Chris.
Hey, John.
This feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels rehearsed.
It feels real weird, and it sounds weird. We're in a hotel room.
Yeah, my hotel room.
At PAX.
Because I'm lazy, and I don't want to commute back and forth.
Man, they don't need to know where we...
It's all good, man. I'm living the baller life.
But...
Got a corner room.
Yeah, you do. You do have that corner view of all the other buildings in downtown Seattle. But we're using different mics, different setup. Dan is in the Philippines.
Yes, he's on the other side of the world.
Correct. So he'll be opposite time.
Yep.
Toilets flushing backwards.
That's a myth.
That's a
myth. The
toilets
Southern Hemisphere,
flushing
that's a myth.
Backwards.
They don't do that, Chris. Did I just blow your mind?
No, it wasn't. You're not a Mythbuster.
Okay. Yo, you watch Mythbusters?
Tell me that. How else I'm going to figure out whether the toilets go backwards or not?
Reading on the internet? I don't know.
That's where I get all of my information, John.
Mythbusters or the internet?
Yes.
Okay.
The only two sources of my life's information comes from the Discovery Channel's Mythbusters, which has stopped, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
But they show reruns on one of these
Absolutely.
stations. Yeah.
And this is my only source of learning other than YouTube.
There we go. Oh, YouTube now, huh?
Well, that's the internet.
Okay.
YouTube's on the internet.
That's a little section of the
internet.
internet.
It is, but that's how I learn.
All right.
Remember that car I fixed this week?
Oh, yeah. Hey, there's plenty.
Learned it off the internet.
I looked at how-to videos on the internet.
Lots.
Like when I when I had to replace a light switch one time, and it was like,
see? Yep.
Here's the wires that you don't touch. Here's what you do touch. Yep. Oh yeah. Got to cap this wire.
See?
I only did that once, and I was like, nope, not for me.
Toilets backwards.
Yeah.
Dan did say he brought his Switch with him. He played My Friend Pedro.
Yeah. His
criticism was that the gunplay was cool, but it ends up being more of a puzzle game than a action shooter. And when you employ bullet time, I think it's fair to think that you're going to be playing an action, a lot of enemies, and that's the idea. And he's right.
So it sold itself as one game, but it turned out to be another?
Yeah, I think they might have run out of creative ways to employ enemies.
Okay.
Because it's 2D, there couldn't be waves so much, right? There are senses of waves, but it's always a predictable pattern. It's not like a 3D environment. You can dive this way and that way and find yourself in positions to get out of.
Up, down, left, and right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And really, the shooting pretty much goes left and right.
Yeah.
There's not too much up and down. So yes, his criticism is something I agree with. It's still a fun game. It only took 4 hours to beat.
No, that's not bad.
Right, so he probably either beat it on the flight
or... $15, right? It's not that... It was only
15 or 20.
20, yeah. It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
But
it was worth it. Right? Yeah, I thought it was worth it. Your mileage may vary. Exactly.
But your mileage may vary on, but it's also a meaty game that you could probably finish in a year.
What's that, John?
That's Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing? I've been getting all of my characters up to a specific level so that I can get them mastery classes, because there's several tiers of class upgrades in this game.
You were just talking about, John, how many hours?
102, I think.
102 hours.
Yeah, and I'm about two missions, like the big monthly missions, away from finishing it, I think. If what the internet is saying is correct, based on what I've been using aids in to get my relationship statuses maxed out. Oh my
god.
I did not full min-max this, where I tried to recruit everybody. I only recruited a few select people from the houses and the staff, because once you get to a certain point in the game, time skip we've talked about before.
Right.
You can't recruit anybody else. As far as I know, it says, I've seen people say online, oh, you can go up and try and talk to these people. I tried that a couple times, and I was like, I don't see the option here to do that, so you're going to die now. So you're on the other side of the battlefield. You got to go.
Oh, John, spoilers.
And you got to kill
people. Oh
my
gosh.
War is hell.
100 hours, 102 hours.
Yeah. So a lot of that has been spent, we'll say maybe 7 or 8 might have been the game idling on the screen.
Right. Yes.
But there's been a lot of going into the weekly tasks, which are, you have several different things you can do, which I mentioned before. But doing the battles. And there's a battle type that usually you have a specific number of currency that you can spend to do those battles. As you level up your professor level, you get more of those points. So at the point I'm in the game, I have 3 of those points that I can spend. So I can do 3 of the official battles that they have because they have costs next to them. Nothing's cost more than 1 to do each battle, but there's also one that doesn't cost anything at all, and you can keep picking that option. It'll rotate what battle it is, or what the goal is, but you can keep grinding that out if you want to level up your characters. You make decent money on that, so you can keep your equipment up to snuff, so you can keep repairing it, because that's the thing about Fire Emblem is that your equipment gets run down as you use it.
Okay.
But there's a blacksmithing option that you can go in and fix your stuff with, so it's not that bad.
So 102 hours. It's pretty fulfilling throughout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The relationship stuff is really fun because you get a lot of varying degrees of good relationships and bad relationships, but they all result in your support level going up.
Right.
Yeah, which, I mean, you've seen probably some of the tweets
Yes.
where it's like, all right, we're so great. Hey, how you doing? Great. Oh, support improved. And
Exactly.
the other one is like, I hate you. You're terrible.
Yeah,
You're
I'm going
the
to kill
worst.
you.
I'm going to kill you. Support level improved.
Exactly.
So
that's silly, but
I mean, yeah, camaraderie on the battlefield can take many forms, Chris.
so lots of tea parties and roses.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Lots of classes.
So many tea parties. Not a lot of roses. I haven't been giving a lot of flowers. I've been giving a lot of gifts that are like, here, have this hair clip, or why don't you take this board game, or how about you have some coffee beans? Would you like some smoked meat? Because that's,
Smoked meat. That's how I'd join your
some
team.
people like it.
It sounds like you're gonna finish the game. Are you
Yes.
gonna play through the other 2?
So there's actually spoilers. There are 4 different paths you can actually play.
I've heard there's 4.
Yeah.
I heard 4 endings, and I assumed one was.
So one of the paths has a split that you can decide which way you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick that path the first time. So apparently, yeah, if you want to see all the endings, you got to play through it 4 times. They do have a pretty good New Game Plus mode, from what I've heard. You get a currency called Renown, which lets you upgrade these statues in the sanctuary that gives you like buffs for like the experience type you get. It does a lot of different things. There's several different levels for it. But after you beat the game, you get something called a notebook, which has even more stuff you can spend Renown on. That basically lets you get back up to speed faster on your subsequent playthroughs.
That was going to be because otherwise you're looking at 480 hours, and
so yeah, it allows you to skip some of the grindiness of the initial gameplay stuff. But yeah, I probably will jump back in and play at least one other playthrough, I think, because the side I'm on in the battle, I'll pick the person on the other side, the group, so I'll see what happens there. But the third one seems interesting too, just because of what I know happens at some point. I would like to see what happened to result in the third group getting to where they are. So it's fun. It's really good. I've enjoyed the Fire Emblem games since I started playing them on GameCube, and then GBA a little bit here and there. But this is the one I think I felt the most fulfilled with. So
good.
That's it. And then this morning, after seeing it on the PAX floor, I have to talk about it because I played a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a game in early access called Monster Sanctuary that is, what if we made a Metroidvania navigation game, but when you get to fight things, it's Pokemon.
Yep.
So that's literally the pitch I can give you for that. That is the easiest way to explain it. You run into an enemy, it goes into a turn-based battle system, you pick your monsters that you're going to take into the battle, and then they all have different abilities, and then it's turn-based, back and forth, or your team goes and then their team goes. When I was playing it on the floor yesterday, I only had 2 different types of monsters. I had a wolf and a blob. Earlier this morning, I found a bird. The bird's pretty good because he busts the whole party.
And you can have a team of 4?
I think I only had 3. I have another blob egg in my inventory. I think I can hatch that and get it out. I think it showed 5 slots total on the screen. But you can mix and match stuff. There's a skill tree for every monster, so they have an evolution path as you level them up. They all have equipment, so you give them equipment to buff their stats. And then in the platforming section, each of them has a special ability. So similar to like the relics that you would find in Symphony of the Night, they basically unlock different pathways and things like that you can navigate. So when I found the bird has the ability to levitate you. So I had a platform, and you just jump up, and then you hit the levitate button, and the bird kind of hovers for a second, allows you to make the platform.
Yeah,
the second platform.
I think that part's a big Pokemon trope too, where you use cut to get the tree out of the way, kind of thing.
Yeah, and the wolf has the ability to cut down vines and cut through rocks. So
right,
and the blob can activate water orbs. And the good thing is that they tell you what everything does. Like, it's very good about its tooltips.
Yeah.
So, like, when you hover over each thing, it says, like, what it'll do. You're not just sitting there just experimenting, going, what did I do here?
Yep.
You know what it can do. So,
yep. Pixel art platformer that turns into RPG, turn-based RPG during battles.
Has good music.
Yeah.
But it's an early access, so they say things are probably going to, change or evolve over time. It looks like the bottom tier of the skill tree isn't unlocked yet. It has just a little WIP for work in progress.
Right.
So that's cool. But yeah, it was like $10. So I think it was pretty great. You play anything else this week, Chris?
I played a couple things.
You picked up a new game, didn't you, this week? Your biggest... Or do you want to save that?
Yes, because I have a number that I picked up. Wreckfest.
Yes.
Wreckfest I grabbed earlier this week, and I've got about 4 hours.
Formerly known as Next Car Game from the Bugbear Studios, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, keep
you
going.
You got the publisher right, though.
Yeah.
Or developer. It is, and the reason I got it was I watched YouTuber Jimmy Broadbent, who's a sim racer normally. I guess a lot of people told him that this was a pretty solid game, and he has a sim racing rig, and he threw it on there. And it was actually relatively fun to watch. The handling is impressive.
That was the thing I've heard about that game, is that their physics model is phenomenal.
Yes, it feels right, and I don't know how to better explain that.
You've done like racing stuff in IRL, so not professionally, but you've gone to track days. You've done, I've go-karted with you. You know what you're doing when you're in a car, Chris. Whereas plebeians like us kind of go, yeah, I can kind of drive a car.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of time, through most Gran Turismos into most Forzas. I've gone further into stuff like iRacing, Assetto Corsa.
You know what to do to hit the apex of a turn, and how to manage your throttle and braking. So
yes, and this game, it gets most of that pretty spot on. It gets funny at points where it doesn't even matter. Like one race I had was, I was on a riding lawnmower in a figure 8 course against 10 other riding lawnmowers.
Why not?
And a harvester.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and so the hilarity in that point is, I don't know how this thing's supposed to handle, but it feels okay, whatever. And then there's a giant harvester running some of the people over. Ragdoll physics are actually kind of hilarious at that point. The game does maintain all the cars that crash and all the wreckage that you leave in your wake. It's still there when you come back around.
Yeah, it doesn't disappear.
No, which makes for things to become much harder.
Track.
Yes, piles of tires will splay out in one lap, and then it will get in your way the next lap.
Yeah, if you never saw, there was a Giant Bomb video where Vinny was racing with a shark on the top of his car, and the shark came off at one point, and the shark was still on the track as they were doing their drive around in the dirt road that they were on. So.
It's fun. There's a lot of variable events, because they have just a straight demo derby where it's you and 20 other cars or something like that. Like I mentioned, there's riding lawnmowers. I think that's actually the opening event, is a demo derby of riding lawnmowers.
Because why not?
Exactly. And then cars, you get to race cars.
Cars.
And they're all analogs of other real life cars. They don't ever call them that. Like, there's a classic Mustang, there's a classic 240Z out there.
They don't have licenses.
Exactly.
So.
There's no licenses for any of these cars, so they're all named something else.
Yep.
But it looks good. It handles well. Anybody who's into racing games and wants a little bit more arcadey aspect, I'd suggest it.
Cool.
We talked about a lot of games I played this week, and I don't think enough of them stuck with me. Astral Chain is the big one that I picked up.
Woo woo!
Yeah, Platinum Games.
Platinum joint.
On a Switch, which, man, that makes me like 70% more likely to get a game when it's on a Switch.
Okay.
And I told you why. I was Kid Life.
Oh yeah, you got Kid Life. So
I popped the game in
5 minutes.
Yeah, I thought I had maybe 20 minutes.
I got this. I got a nice little 20 minutes. Gonna sit down, get to the intro.
I didn't even watch the whole intro. Halfway through the intro, I had to hit the sleep button. Put it away, and I forget what happened. Somebody got it from the dinner table while I was doing my thing. I did my thing, came back, watched most of the intro.
Most of the intro, all right.
Got into kind of the opening segment. Gotta stop. So I hit the sleep button. And this happened like 4 times. Finally, kids went to bed. I was like, cool, my time.
Daddy time.
Yep. Turned the game on. I got to play for about an hour and a half at that point. Got through essentially all the opening training stuff.
And,
yes.
The intros, tutorials.
I didn't even get through the first mission all the way.
You got through the tutorial stuff mostly, right?
Yes. I kept messing with all the different things you could do. I waste a lot of time in training areas. Yeah, I was trying to suck in all the detail I could. But overall, the game, it's a platinum game. I like the battle system. It seems to have... there's a new twist in that you have a second player, essentially. Because your partner, the item robot, you are astrally chained to...
The sentient robot that you've enslaved to help you fight crime?
Yes. You can handle it separately as a separate person, almost. So it becomes a twin stick at one point where you're handling 2 people.
So brothers. The other 2 sons.
I never played it.
Okay. You controlled each of the brothers with an analog stick in that game. Independently.
Yes. But only when you want to.
It went over your head, Chris. You don't...
Yes. I'm lost on that one. And that's fine. The chain, you can actually use it to manipulate enemies in the environment. Like you can wrap them in your chain.
Sure.
But yeah, moving the other... your second character, your legion. It's called a legion. Oh, it's not a mecha. It's like a demon.
Okay, demon
that has been enslaved. Well, they put a whole bunch of armor on it to control it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So you hold down L2. You can move it with the right thumbstick. You're moving yourself with your left thumbstick. But if you just want to have your legion attack, just jam on the L or ZL. Your attacks are on RL. There's a dodge button.
So the attacks are on the triggers. I'm never a fan of that, unfortunately.
Me neither, but I'm getting more used to it because so many games are moving to it.
I just don't like it. When God of War did it, I was like, because they gave you the option to swap it to the face buttons like the old style, and I was like, give me that. Yeah, no, that's what I was used to. I think dodge was always on the shoulder buttons for like Bayonetta. I'm trying to remember. And attack were the face buttons. I don't know I haven't looked into if there is a way to change it, and I don't know if I will, but... I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that moving the Legion requires the right thumbstick, and you'd never be able to attack them. Either way, I like the character design. I mean, very anime. That's very my brand. That's where I'm at. The fights are pretty frenetic. Lots of energy, kinetic action. It looks cool. Platinum games. That's just kind of what they do. The only one I played any significant time with was Bayonetta 2 on the Switch. No, Wii U, sorry.
Yes. So, did you like it?
It was fine. I didn't hate it. I mean, it was entertaining enough, and that storyline was batshit, so it was like, all right, I can get that. Some
of my favorite, yes. Yeah. Bayonetta 1 was like that. Most of their games, I think, I bought Transformers, that Platinum did. That
was free for PS Plus, and I think I played that a bit, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I was bored. I was kind of annoyed when they went to the, like, it's like, oh, here you're going, it's like a following truck that you're, Megatron's shooting a tank at you, and I'm like, this isn't what I want.
Their city driving sections, the environmental designs in themselves were super boring. That game was not great. I still enjoyed it.
Character design was gorgeous.
And the fighting was Platinum Games fighting. Fine, I enjoy that stuff. So Astral Chain, unfortunately, only got a couple hours into it because we had to come to PAX. Otherwise, I'd have my nose buried in it right now, probably. Yeah. Not that it's terrible thing that I'm here at PAX.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, it's the worst.
I know.
Playing Astral Chain.
Life is hard.
Or wading through hundreds of indie games trying to figure out what you'd like to play.
That is where we're going to be again here probably in the next hour or so, really.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a bigger wrap up of what we saw on the floor.
Absolutely. So we'll just give it a few more minutes. Do you have any media that you've been reading, watching this week?
No, I mean, other than the PAX panels I went to. I mean, I could talk about those now and cover games later.
That's up to you.
It's fine. Nothing significant, no. Just been watching a lot of Giant Bomb stuff. all the time. That's my main form of entertainment. And then I forgot to order that figure Dan told me about, the Ninja Turtle ones, because he mentioned that those went up on pre-order on GameStop, the movie versions of Shredder and Splinter.
We're talking original Ninja Turtles movie?
I am talking, yes, the original late 80s, early 90s, I forget which year.
Me too.
If it was 90 or 89. But yes, the ones that I have the 4 turtles for already, they have a Shredder and a Splinter in that same size. That they were offering at Comic-Con as part of a big pack with 2 foot soldiers, but apparently they're breaking them out individually too. So
it would make sense.
Yeah.
That kind of.
And then I ordered some Power Rangers figures.
We talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
I pre-ordered the Comic-Con exclusive that they released to the Pulse members. Thanks to Dan and his membership for that, because you had to be a Pulse member to get access to those a day early. So I ordered the Red Ranger / Black Ranger combo pack, and then I also ordered the Green Ranger and Putty pack that they had. And Dan sent me a link today about a Black Ranger from SH Figure Arts that's wearing Tommy's armor and has an axe, so I might get that. I just want one of every Ranger, like the main Power Rangers, and the ones that I had, the first 2 that I've shown you, the red and the green. That line is super duper expensive. Like if you want to get the Pink Ranger, she's like $200-$300.
What?
Yeah, because they only made a limited amount. They were
still.
Yeah, I know, it's toys. That's the toy
more than
life.
Jordans. Oh my god.
Yeah, but Jordans will break down eventually.
Just because you wear them.
Yeah.
You don't.
The
if I left them on a shelf,
you play with the toya.
Well, no. People have tried that. There have been people that tried breaking out shoes they saved from like 1995.
And they disintegrated?
Air Max 95s. I watched somebody put their foot through the bottom of it. It was hard.
Heartbreaking?
It was hard to watch. Well, it's sad because this guy saved these shoes. He liked them so much in 95, or I don't know if he bought them secondhand.
Yeah.
Either way, they had been unworn, and they were brand new in 95.
25 years later, almost.
Exactly. Puts us through right through it. The sole disconnects and disintegrates from the upper part, the leather and whatever else. And just, I was like, oh my God. You have to wear, if you're a Jordan collector, you can't really keep them because eventually they'll break down.
Seal them in a container.
I don't even know.
If there's no air getting to them.
And that's beyond the pale for anybody.
I don't know. Big baller life, Chris. You got to get those shoes in that case.
Why are you doing that for $200 shoes? That's just.
I don't know.
The only ones I could think of are you seen those Back to the Future shoes when they released those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you spend $5,000 on a pair of shoes, and you want to keep them.
Okay.
Maybe. Even then, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up, Chris. We're gonna go.
All right, John.
Unless there's any media you want to talk about.
Nah.
You talked about your anime last week.
I did. I finished Cannon Busters. They left it on a cliffhanger, which is a little bit
disappointing.
Yes, I wanted it to wrap up.
You wanted a resolution to the story.
Yeah, because I'm not sure that the story carries that well. We'll see. I'll probably still watch season 2. And then the last thing is I bought my goose shirt yesterday.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yep, I have a horrible goose long sleeve. It's pretty dope.
It's great.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, did watch Glow. Watched all of season 3 of Glow. That's a good show if you have not watched it.
No, I haven't. What is it?
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Oh.
You remember the old Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling? Like, this is based on that.
I didn't watch any of it, but I knew Annie from Communities on it. That's her name.
She's great. Mark Maron is in it. I don't know if you ever watched Veronica Mars.
Nope.
Okay, then
they might have.
The Piz from Veronica Mars plays a prominent part in that. But it is very 80s. It has a great soundtrack. The female actresses in it are fantastic. And if you have any fondness for like 80s women wrestling shows, bad TV, it's a good watch. There's 3 seasons available on Netflix now. So.
All right.
And for you perverts out there, it's got adult content in there.
Oh, John.
Well, so
don't encourage them.
I'm just letting you know, you might see some nudity in this show.
Pornhub.com. You just go there, take care of it.
But this is actresses who are not necessarily, doing that as a career, showing off things.
All right, we'll not give that any more.
Yeah, no more airtime.
Okay.
All right, let's go to PAX.
All right,
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe.